Let's just get right into it. I typically choose between two daily bags for my daily use. It all depends on what I'm going to do for that day. First here, this is the Tumi Dover Alpha Bravo backpack. It's actually the first luxury item I ever bought for myself back when I first started earning some money. And it's because of that sentimentality that I have such a soft spot in my heart for the Tumi brand. But more than just the sentimentality, I really do believe in the functionality of their products. I knew that I wanted to spend good money on a proper bag that I knew would last me for years, and that's why I went with this. I bought this bag because at that time, I only ever used to really work at coffee shops. I was always mobile. I didn't have a work from home setup at the time. And so I really needed a bag that would be able to carry all of my everyday essentials without any worry or problems. To this day, whenever I need to work outside of my work from home office, it's this bag that I bring. It's made out of a ballistic nylon material, and that's why it's so sturdy. And it's got loads of different compartments that are ready to house all of my essentials. However, whenever I don't have to work, this is the bag that I bring with me instead. It's the Tumi Travis crossover body bag. One of the coolest features about this bag, aside from the fact that it's got so many compartments, is that it's an expandable bag. That means I can fit my laptop into it if it's absolutely necessary, but again, whenever I bring my laptop, I typically use the backpack instead. I only ever use the crossover body bag for my casual days out. And for my laptop, it's actually recording my audio for the video right now. It's the Dell XPS 139370. It has an 8th generation Intel Core i7 processor, 256GB of SSD storage, and 8GB of RAM. It's been a really sturdy workhorse, and I've really been happy with all of the work that I've been able to do with it. However, the keyboard has started to fall apart on me, and I will need to replace it. I've also been thinking about replacing my laptop with a Samsung Galaxy Tab because I do most of my heavy work on my desktop PC anyway. But this is still a solid laptop. I recommend it to anyone who absolutely needs a laptop for their mobile work. And for my phone, I have the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus. I first got this phone back in 2020, just before the pandemic started. I don't really feel the need to upgrade just yet. I won't mention the specs anymore. There are already a bunch of newer iterations of this phone that have already come out. But like I said, even though this phone is already 2 years old, it still gets the job done. It has some really solid camera features. In fact, I use it a lot to film my B-roll. I also use it to take notes on Notion whenever I don't have immediate access to my computer. Of course, I also use it for messaging, calls, and typical social media usage. Depending on where I'm going, I'm either bringing a wallet or a card holder. Usually, I bring my wallet with me all the time. It's a Gucci bifold wallet. I actually got this when I was vacationing in Japan a couple of years back. I bought it because it's so different from a lot of Gucci's typical designs that are so loud and so filled up with like branding. This is very understated with minimal branding, and it's made of good quality leather, and it really gets the job done. For my card holder, it's another Tumi product. It's also from their Alpha Bravo line, and it's relatively straightforward. Usually I'll bring this card holder around with me for formal events or those times when I know I don't need cash with me. The next item that I always have with me is a book. Currently, I'm reading Atomic Habits by James Clear. I'm actually coming out with a video reviewing and critiquing this book, so watch out for that. Stay subscribed so you can see it first. But yeah, my bag always has a book in it wherever I go. Whenever I find myself with unexpected free time, I'll always just grab a book and then make use of that time to read instead. That's just one of the tips that I use to be able to read more than 100 books in a year. I made an entire video about that. Check it out here. Next, I always have a notebook with me, and this is my favorite notebook. It is the dotted Leuchtturm 1917 journal. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. I like that the notebook's pages are dotted instead of lined because they give me so much more flexibility and freedom with regards to my writing. Typically, I use this as a journal to jot down my thoughts whenever I'm reading. And this is also the notebook that I use to put in my notes for my podcast. However, if you are looking for a notebook with a little more structure, I do recommend this one. It is the Ready to Adult Planner from the Ready to Adult YouTube channel. It's designed to be a financial literacy book/planner and organizer, and it's really just great for organizing your life in general. Links to this book and all of the other items that I'm talking about in this video in the description. And of course, in connection with my notebook, I have my pen. For sanitary purposes, especially now during COVID season, I always make it a point to bring around my pen. That's so I don't ever have to find myself in the position of having to borrow someone else's pen to sign something or to jot something down. This is the Mont Blanc Meisterstock UNICEF Rollerball. I love this pen. It has a really solid hand feel and a really good weight to it. It's also a relatively bigger pen, which is good for me because I also have chubby hands. I've never enjoyed the writing experience as much as I have with this pen. This knife was actually a gift from my fiance that I got last Christmas. I've always told my fiance that I wanted a knife for my everyday carry, but I just never got around to buying one for myself, so she ended up pulling the trigger for me. This is the CRKT sketch knife. It's one of the more entry-level knives from the brand, but it's already so much more than I actually need. To tell you the truth, I mostly use this knife to unbox packages from Lazada, but I like it to keep it with me wherever I go just for some added peace of mind. It's also very utilitarian. You just never know when you're going to need a good knife. I actually have two power banks that I use for different purposes. First up, it's this generic Capdace 10,000 mAh power bank. There's nothing special about it other than the fact that it's capable of 38.5 watt USB-C charging. This is the power bank that I bring with me most of the time because of how slim and compact it is. But this is a much more special power bank. Even though it's shaped like a notebook, it is a power bank. This is the Ubao 65 watt 30 milliamp hour power bank. I specifically bought this power bank because it is 65 watts, and that means it's strong enough to be able to power my laptop. So it essentially serves as an extra battery for my laptop whenever I'm mobile. That means I don't have to carry around the charging brick for it anymore. And for my mouse, I have the Mac Daddy of productivity mice. This is the Logitech MX Master 3. You've probably seen this on other YouTube channels of other productivity YouTubers, but there's a reason that it's so popular. It might be a little big for mobile use, but I just can't see myself using any other kind of mouse for productivity anymore. The remappable buttons and horizontal scroll wheel are just game changers when it comes to saving time and being more efficient. I might do a full review of this mouse comparing it to a cheaper alternative in a future video. Comment down below if you're interested in seeing that. But yeah, I really love this mouse. It has great ergonomics and a host of different features. For my keyboard, I use the Keychron K6. You've probably seen me feature this keyboard on previous videos. Now, before you judge me for being the guy who brings around a mechanical keyboard wherever I go, please do note that my laptop does have keyboard issues. That's why I have to bring an external keyboard with me. I've already talked about this keyboard in great detail in previous videos, I'll just link them up here. But yeah, I love the experience I've had so far with this keyboard, and it's served as a solid companion. And lastly, I have my Samsung Galaxy Buds. Usually working at a coffee shop is great and all. I love all of that ambient noise and the coffee shop music. But sometimes there is a need wherein I'll have to block everything out, and that's where these come in. My Galaxy Buds actually came free with my cell phone back when I first bought it. So it is a relatively outdated wireless earbud. That means it has an older version of Bluetooth, and I do hear that latency whenever I'm watching videos or I'm playing games. But I can't fault it for being old. It's also great for people who are active. I use these earbuds for when I'm running, and I use them to listen to podcasts or listen to music. And yeah, that just about does it for my essentials or my everyday carry or my what's in my bag or whatever you want to call this video. I've always been a fan of watching these kinds of videos on YouTube in the past, and I don't know, I just wanted to do one of my own. I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I would love to hear what you bring every day. What are your essentials? What are the stuff that you put into your bag? Comment them down below. But yeah, as always, thank you so much for joining me. Please do like this video, subscribe to my channel. It would really help a growing channel like mine, and I hope to see you guys around again soon.